guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. Today is a makeup tutorial on the makeup I'm wearing right now. It's a winter makeup routine, kind of a light natural eye with a bold lip. So if you would like to hear some more about how I got this makeup look, then just keep watching. So I am going to go ahead and start with the Urban Decay B6 Vitamin Infused Complexion Prep Spray. So then for face primer, I'm going to use the Hangover Rx. This stuff is really great. I only use this in the winter, but it is so hydrating. Okay, then I'm going to prime my under eyes with the Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer. And then today for the wrinkles on my forehead, I'm going to go back to the No. 7 Instant Illusion Wrinkle Filler. I haven't used this in a while. I've been using the Amazing Cosmetic one. So let's figure out, see. I forget what this one was even like. That's got pretty good filling properties also, like the Amazing Cosmetics one does, and this one is much cheaper, but the Amazing Cosmetics one does have like it's like an anti-aging product as well for your wrinkles. So for right where I get oily, which is like right here and here, I'm going to put the Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector Base, not colored like the Dr. Brandt or the Professional. You can like feel it on your skin. It's kind of weird. It has like a tight kind of feel. Then I'm going to color correct on my dark circles with the MAC Studio Conceal and Correct Duo. I've been using the peach side, and I do it with this Japanese 910 like tiny concealer brush. I'm pretty sure this is a travel size, but in my Sephora this is the only size they sell. They don't sell the full size, but this one's fine. And I do put it on in the inner corner also, where it gets a little darker, and just like a little bit right there. Not all over my eyelid, just because I don't like to layer too much stuff on my eyelid because then it just gets cakey. I am going to use today the Covergirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1 Foundation. I used to love this stuff, and then I just kind of forgot about it. But this is in the color 842. So I'm just going to apply this with the Beauty Blender in the typical fashion. I'm going to use the Sephora Bright Futures Gel Serum Concealer, and this is in the color 06 Madeline. I really like this concealer. It blends well. It's got good kind of medium coverage that you can build it up a little bit. I just don't like the applicator. Like no product comes out on the applicator, and it's kind of hard. It's like a hard applicator, so you don't want to like swipe it on your face because it just ends up like really pulling your skin. You have to go back in like a bunch of times to get the amount of concealer that you want, which really drives me nuts. I'm going to use the concealer to highlight, so I'll put it on my nose, and I'll just put a little on my forehead right here, and my Cupid's bow. I'm going to blend it all out with the Beauty Blender. I like to do these smaller parts first lately because then I feel like there's not a bunch of excess product on the Beauty Blender that ends up just being like a hot mess and putting more highlighter there than you wanted in the first place. And we're going to prime our eyelids today with the highlighter, with the concealer also. I'm just going to put the excess up on my eyelid, and I put it in the corner of my eye also. Okay, so I'm going to set directly underneath my under eye where my dark circles are with the Mercier Secret Brightening Powder and this Japanese brush, and I'll run that on my eyelids also. This is the Japanese 915. And for the rest of the triangle, I am going to use the yellow shade out of the Marc Jacobs powder, and I'll just set the rest of the Marc Jacobs Mirage Duo is what this is, number 40. And I'll set the concealer with that also everywhere where I used it for highlighter. And then for the rest of my face, I'm going to break out my Makeup Forever Professional HD High Definition Powder. I'm just going to set the rest of my face with this. This is the Sigma F30 Large Powder Brush. I love this powder brush. And I like to use tapping motions when I set the powder, not rubbing motions. If you rub, you're going to rub your foundation all over the place, so you just want to tap it in. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my eyebrows. I'm just going to comb them in the direction I want them to go. And I will fill in the sparse parts per usual with the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Dark Brown, which for me is just the this top portion here, and then I fill in the tail a little bit. And then you want to comb it through with the spoolie, gently, don't get crazy and get like pencil all over the place. Then to set them, I'll use the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper in the shade medium to dark. I'm lucky I can still read the bottom. No glasses yet. So I'll put a little bit right here on the inner portion, and then I'll put it on the upper portion and the tail. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bronze up the face, and I am using the MAC Refined Golden Bronzing Powder and my MAC 135 brush. So I'm just going to, per usual, up on the hairline and down by the temples. Now, because it's winter, we're not trying to give ourselves like a super summery, you know, bronzing tan. We're just trying to add some color to the face. So I put a little less on. And then for blush, I'm going to put a little bit of this Milani Baked Blush in the color Berry Armour. With the Sigma Large Angle Contour F30. And I'm just going to put it on the apples of my cheeks and then just swoop it back a little bit. I'm going to pop on a little highlighter. This is the Hourglass Highlight Ambient Light in the color Luminous Light. I'm just going to fan it on the tops of my cheekbones here. Put a little bit down the center of my nose and my cupid's bow. And I'll just run the excess kind of here on the sides just to give a little bit of a glow, but not like, you know, big time. And I always like to run the Duo Fiber Sigma brush over it, or the EcoTools one. It just really softens up the products and gives a more airbrushed look to your face. Okay, so we're going to start using the Wet n Wild Creme Brullee shadow. It's just this vanilla shade. I'm just going to put that underneath the eyebrow and then all over the eyelid. Everywhere. I'll even bring it into the inner corner. Okay, then I'm going to use the L'Oreal palette. This is the Nude 1. And I am going to use this shade right here as a transition shade. Then I'm going to use my Sigma E25, and I am going to use this shade right here just to define the crease a little bit. And then we'll blend it out again just to make sure the edges are blended at the top. Okay, then I wanted to show you guys what this Nars Himalaya eyeshadow looked like. Swatch it, it looks like this. Pretty shiny, and if you use a brush, it looks like that. Just a little softer, but it's pretty shiny. So I'm going to use the MAC 242. And I'm just going to mix it with the Wet n Wild shade that we already used. But when you use this MAC brush to put down the Wet n Wild shade, it just gives you a little bit more of an intense vanilla appearance than when you use like the crown brush that's just fluffier. This Himalaya shade was in the Sephora Favorite Superstars box, but I didn't use it. I used the other eyeshadow that was in the box, so that's why I wanted to use it in a tutorial. And then I'm going to take some of the Himalaya and just put that over the vanilla or the creme brulee all over the lid. Of course, if you wanted it to be more intense, you could use the Himalaya by itself, but I don't want to. Once you have that all on there and the intensity that you like, I just use the E25 again and just kind of blend out the edges. I usually don't even put more product on it, so I don't want to go over the lid color. I just want to make sure that it's not like a sharp contrast between the lid and the crease. And then for the inner corner, I'll use the same hourglass highlight. I'll just put a little of that in the inner corner. And this is the Sigma E46 inner corner brush. So we will go ahead and highlight the brow bone with the same hourglass highlighter and the same Sigma inner corner brush. And then for the lower lash line, I'll just use those same L'Oreal shades that I already used. I'll go in first with the lighter one. And I'll bring the lighter one down further, and it will help camouflage any little fine lines you have underneath your eyes. And then I will just put the darker one on top of it. I'm going to use the Maybelline Gel Liner in the color brown, and I'm with my Cate brush, and I'm just going to put a very thin line at the bottom of my upper lashes. This just makes your eyelashes look fuller when you can thicken up the base like this. Okay, then for mascara, I am going to use the Cosmetics Tightline. Haha, shocker, I love that. And the Big Eyes from Maybelline, the Falsies Volume Express. So I'm going to go in first with my Cosmetics Tightline. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, I use this with every mascara. It makes every single mascara look better, and it gives a tightline effect to your eye. This mascara has a very similar effect to the Better Than Sex mascara. It's very thickening. And then it has a side for your lower lashes, which is nice. Okay, so for my lips, I am going to use the Ofra Lip Liner in the color Maya. And then I'm going to use the Too Faced Divine Wine. Lipstick makes my teeth look really white. And then I'm going to set my face with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I don't see any great benefit for priming, but I did like it when I set my makeup. I don't know if it set it, but it made kind of all the powders come together and look less makeup-y. So I'm going to set my face with this. So that's it for my winter skincare routine and makeup look. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up so I know that you like these type of tutorials. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. All the information for all the products that I used or talked about will be in the description box. And all my links to my social media, my Instagram, my Twitter, Snapchat, and Facebook are all in the description box also. So be sure to check out the description box. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! Shower, I use the Olay Total Effects 7 Advanced Anti-Aging Deep Penetrating Moisture with Vitamin Niacin.